Okay, hello and welcome to Curse of the Crescent Isle speedrun mode. This game is for PC and Steam. And it is heavily inspired by Super Mario 2, a lot of NES platformers. Has a very retro aesthetic to it, as you can tell. But yeah, it's a pretty basic platformer. It's got a very nifty little mechanic to it, which is very similar to Mario 2, to where you can jump on your enemies and pick them up and use them for various reasons. Like each enemy we'll see has a different ability that you can use when you do pick them up like this. Like right now in this case, we're just using it as a platform to get up to higher levels because it's required. But these time guys right here will actually stop enemies when you throw them at them. I'm not sure what that, I don't believe that guy does anything, but this guy here, if you throw him at another enemy, it will enlarge that enemy, make him a little bit bigger. So think Mario 2, but when you throw enemies, it does a little bit more, like has an effect on enemies when you throw it at other things. Those coins, we're gonna skip those in this category. But yeah, for any percent, we're just gonna be finishing the stage. Just get right to the end. Every basic platformer. This is the relic room, I like to call it. We have to collect these random objects strewn throughout this tower and place them in their respective spots, and you're at the bottom of this tower here. So you just gotta go up, collect them, and bring them back down. It's probably a good time to note that the controls aren't the greatest in this game. Your jump is a little delayed. There's a little latency with your inputs. It's nothing terrible. Like, it's definitely not the worst I've experienced in PC games, but it's noticeable. Also, your descent from jumping and falling is very fast. So you jump and then you descend to the ground very quickly. I've noticed in this game as well. So after you collect the relics, place them in their spots, bring it back down to the bottom, get a little exposition here. And we're gonna actually get into kind of the base mechanics of the game now that we've been gifted this ability by this relic god. So we're just gonna hang on the right hand side of the wall here. We can skip all of that and jump down. This tower is collapsing. We pretty much need to escape without taking a death there. Alright, so our first enemy we get to see of a used ability with enemies is the block breaker. So with him, it's pretty basic. Like, you pick him up, and then you can pretty much use him to drill through the ground. Also allows you to bounce on spikes. Really nifty little ability from this guy. Just gonna take the quickest path through here. Nice little zip action there. There are no glitches. Well, there are a few glitches in this game. I haven't yet to find one that is beneficial to the run as far as the glitch goes. There is some there's some minor out of bounds action we'll be doing, but nothing too crazy. Like, we'll be going out of bounds later, but it's not considered a glitch at all. So we need to actually grab this enemy right here. Will allow you to either it'll switch your gravity. You either go to the ceiling or you go to the floor every time you push the action button there. It's actually faster if you jump and then press the switch button. There's a little animation of your character picking the enemy up and then you go to the ceiling. But in this case, if you jump and then use it, it happens right away. Alright, first boss, Grandor. He's a giant wall. This fight is really easy. The worst thing you have to worry about are the spikes falling from the ceiling, as you can see. But if you stand in this spot and hold up the block breaker, it'll pretty much cause you from not taking any damage from right there. Same spot from right here. Holding up the the block breaker above your head causes any damage from hitting you from above. And then you, like, there's like 3 phases. You pretty much have to hit the eye and then hit one of the bricks that are supporting the bottom there. So you do that 3 times. This would be the 3rd, and there you go. Just gotta throw the enemy at the eye and then at the block. It's a little bit of a weird design for a boss. Definitely very weird. It's gonna be weird designs for all of these bosses in this game. It's definitely not your average platformer, but it's fun. It's got a great soundtrack, and it's a pretty adorable platformer. All right, so first stage down, first boss, I should say. Once you head into the next stage, you have this little village area. You can talk to these NPCs. They offer you a little bit of lore. Unfortunately, none of these doors open. You can't go into them. It's all just design. But, yeah, from here, we're just going to hold right, pass through the village, and on to stage 2. So for this section, we're going to be using a little help from our friends here to skip some sections. Through here, this is pretty basic platforming. Oh, took a hit there. Want to avoid the fireballs. Also, I probably should also note that health is really not a huge concern in this game. Every screen transition, every new screen that you go into, your health is refilled to 3 hearts, so there's not a lot you have to worry about. The ice block ability here will freeze any puddle of water or body of water there into ice, which is required in some sections. We're going to use it to kind of like, there we go, kind of mid-jump, there we go. Mid-jump on those fireballs to get up here. It's intended, but there's a faster way of doing it than the way I did it as well, but that way works. This part's a little tough. You need to time your jump so that the fireball comes up and then you're able to get up there. We need to keep this ice block to the end of the level. Normally, you can do like a double jump if you have an ability friend. If you jump and then press the grab button again, you'll do like a double jump off your ability. The only thing is you leave the ability behind, and in some cases you need to bring it with you. But we'll use that once or twice within the run. Kind of just acts like a double jump. If it's very similar to Super Mario World, where if you have a Yoshi and you need to reach a height that Mario can't get alone on a jump, you can just let go of the Yoshi and you get a double jump out of it. Very similar to that. This section here, we need to climb up this tower and we need to use this ice block. And this is where the platforming gets a little tricky. You actually need to time your jumps to where, yeah, you can bounce on one after another to get to the next section here. So you have to like, see, like right there, you can jump off the ability to the vine. It's very necessary for that part right there. But yeah, it definitely, you have to like anticipate when the fireball comes out and then pre-plan your jump. Here I can actually I'll see if I can show this off here. There we go. So if you can end up actually I didn't need the ice block here. If you do a jump, release your ability, and if it hits a movable object on the way down, it'll actually warp back to you. It's definitely not supposed to do that. That is a little bit of a glitch that I've yet to really utilize well. I'm sure there's a couple sections within this run that you can really use that for and it'd be very helpful. This next section, we just need any enemy that we can jump on here to get a little boost right there. Sometimes they're good just for like a double jump boost, just to hang on to one for certain sections. Alright, and Naja Naja, the second boss of stage, or pretty much boss of stage 2. We're gonna do a huge leap here. This boss is very weird. So it has 3 phases. This is the first phase, where you need to build your own platform by freezing it and then jumping up on top of him to damage it. We're gonna do that 3 times here. And then we're gonna get a quick hit immediately after this third one. Right there. Alright, so that's pretty much skips the second phase immediately. If you do a double jump on top of his head, you can get 2 jumps immediately and skip that phase. This last phase here, you just need to wait for an opening. And bam, 3 hits and he's dead. Pretty easy boss. Once you know the pattern, it makes it a lot easier. It's just that the first phase of Naja Naja is you have to time your jumps to get on top of them. And on the 3rd hit of the first phase, if you are above Naja Naja, you get an immediate hit on his second phase, which only has 1 hit. So, works out big time. Alright, stage 3, my favorite stage. Great music, really tight platforming, really cool tricks we're going to see in this stage. As far as skipping of certain sections with doing the double jump. The section's pretty basic. You can pretty much just hold right and jump and go. And like I was saying earlier, like your descent from like falling after your jump is so fast. It's just like immediate that you really have to time your jumps through these sections, because it's really easy to get overzealous and like over jump something into a pit. So you'll be seeing me make a lot of small little jumps here and there. Here we're gonna hug the ceiling jump. There's a couple of those. Skip all those guys. Alright, here's one of our first big skips. Right here. This enemy will, as you can see, when you jump on them, makes them bigger or smaller. Oh, we're actually gonna... Alright, yeah. We're gonna go ahead and skip it for this time. So I'm not going to do it in this run, but we should be able to do it within the next section. We can actually skip all of this by going above the screen. Let's hop up here. So that enemy, when you jump on him, either makes them bigger or smaller. We're going to be using that a lot coming up here soon. Alright, this part here is where I originally found out about the lack of ceilings within the stages. So if you time your jump right here, I'm gonna have to actually retry that. And then let's try that again. Also, another really good thing, if you mess up any of these screens, you can easily retry the screen, get your health back, and it's very quickly. There you go. So there is no ceiling above these ice blocks. You can double jump your way above them and skip huge sections of the game. We could have actually done it in the last screen, and we're gonna do it right there. But yeah, there is no ceiling, and for the most part, in most cases, in a lot of these screens. Especially like the one in this one where you could just easily just hop right over it. We're going to do it again here in a second. This is why I need this guy again. Right there. So normally you'd have to go through, drill through the blocks in the bottom. You can just double jump your way over the wall. I definitely, I'm going to do it again right here. Just skip that section. Definitely could look into more of that in other stages as well. This is where I found out about this skip, though. You can do it again right here. Skips that entire section. Very nice. I learned about it in this screen not too long ago, and helps out big time. So we're gonna make that guy big because we have big blocks, and then we're just gonna skip everything anyways. So yeah, if you have big blocks, you have to get the enemy that makes the abilities bigger, and then go break the blocks. So it's kind of like the gimmick with this game is it's each enemy has a different ability. You need to use it for different situations in platforming. It's very fun though. This part is some of the toughest platforming in the game, mostly because, like I said earlier, you can only make certain jumps because of your jump isn't the greatest in this game. Oof, almost made a bad jump there. Oh, almost made another bad jump there. All right, Aradamanon is another wall boss, as you can see. He comes up out of there's 3 holes in the ground here, 3 pits. He comes out of each one in a random order. So he went left, he went right this time, and he has 3 hitboxes. And the quick kill for this fight is to hit all of the targets as they come up. 2 and 3. Very easy boss. If you're not anticipating it and you don't know what to expect, you basically just have to jump on all these platforms and hit them along the way up. But if you know when he's coming and where he's going, you can just hit those targets as they travel up, and makes it a very easy fight. Not much to worry about for that fight. It's pretty simple. Alright, last stage. Last stage, we're definitely getting into the part of the game where the platforming gets a little bit more tougher, a little bit more tricky, a little bit of a labyrinth. That these last levels can be very confusing. Alternate paths that you can take. We have to do another fireball jump there. Also, like all the quarters are very tight. There's a lot of enemies and stuff. Giant ceiling guy here. Always jump before you switch. So skip that pickup animation. I'm gonna drop him off. This is the big small guy. Make him small. Throw him back up there. Go to the ceiling. And have to make our way through this tight little window here. Then we cannot make it with the big guy. Easily my least favorite section of the game, the outside tower wall. If you can see here, there is a wind pattern. So right now the wind is blowing right, now it's blowing down. There are certain jumps that you have to make going with the wind. If you jump against or even not against the wind when it's going down, there's like this jump right here, you have to jump with the wind going at your back. So if you have to sit here and wait a second. Or no, you can do it on the bottom, that's right. But it definitely helps when it's on your back. And it's like the end of the ledge jump. If you jump anything before the end of the ledge, you usually don't end up making it. But it always goes right, down, left in that order. And if you fall, the worst part about it is you have to start all the way down at the bottom. And that was actually pretty good, not too bad. That section can be really annoying sometimes. Alright, let's grab our ceiling friend here. Here we need to do a jump and then switch. I think that's the only way to get through that also. Coming up here, we'll have like a bunch of multiple paths you can take, but I mean the basic path is... Oh, good. So we're gonna go all the way to the second to last one here, go right and then left. A lot of these areas end you to dead ends or like a health pickup. I think one of them leads you to a coin. There's the coin right there. There's always 1 coin per screen. There's never more than 1 coin per screen. And that is only required for the 100% category. It's the only collectible in this game, are the coins. Alright, I believe this is the last screen before the final boss. These eyeballs switch from going to the top to the bottom every time that you switch as well. You can kind of manipulate it a little bit. If you switch fast enough, you'll switch the pattern, but this part here is you just want to get through as quickly as possible. And switch the least amount of times is that you need to prevent the eyeballs getting in your way. Here we're going to use it to our advantage. We needed to break the ice here. So as soon as I switch down, the eyeball's going to go back up. Just make our way through here. It's really easy just to get hit by the side of these guys, and it will cause a hit. And there we go. Straight up to the top is the exit. And to proceed to the boss, we need to talk to the Elder. We're playing speedrun mode, which speeds up some text, but that one is the only one that it doesn't really speed up. Alright, final boss. Ain't gonna be time to talking, this is a speedrun, he says. This is the most unusual final boss of any platformer you'll ever see. So the first phase here, we're gonna make our way to the top to get our spiky friend here. And jump down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits per phase there. I think it's just the first phase. The second phase here, he's gonna drop his leg on you. You need to jump over the pit as he drops it. You need to do that 3 times, and then your spiky friend will show up. He takes 1 hit in that phase. The next phase, he's going to do something similar to the first phase. Drop these little dartboards at you. One hit of phase there, and then he's going to go up a little bit higher, do the same thing. And here you have to wait for the spike ice block to come down, and you need to freeze it mid-air. And then find a way to jump up there, and then throw it at him. Final phase coming up here. We're getting ready on time. 1 more hit. He's going to always show up on the left-hand side here. And that is time. So there you go. That is Curse of the Crescent Isle. Again, this is a very retro-inspired type of indie platformer. Came out about 4 or 5 years ago, somewhere around there. Not too bad. That run is from when I used to run it. Every now and then I do pick it back up as a good run. But yes, this was Curse of the Crescent Isle, any percent speedrun mode, and released on PC, Steam. And, yep, there you go. Thank you very much.